Okay, think about this. What if an entire nation decided to completely reshape its economic future in just 10 years? I mean, not just a few tweaks here and there, but building a brand new engine for growth from the ground up. Well, that's exactly what the UAE is doing right now. It's one of the most ambitious industrial plans I've ever seen. So let's break it down.
You know, when you think of the UAE, what comes to mind? Probably these incredible futuristic skylines, right? They're symbols of just massive ambition and super fast change. But here's the thing. Building amazing skyscrapers is one challenge. Building a sustainable, diversified industrial economy that's meant to last for the next 100 years, that's a whole different ballgame.
And that, right there, is the core question. We're in a world where the whole energy landscape is shifting under our feet. So, for a country like the UAE, moving beyond its traditional economic strengths isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely essential for long-term survival. Their answer? It's a massive multi-billion-dollar bet on themselves.
So this huge bet, it actually has a name, Operation 300 BN. And this isn't some side project, it's the absolute centerpiece of their entire national strategy. The numbers involved are, frankly, staggering. So let's dig in and see what this is all about.
First off, this is not a short-term fix. We're talking about a 10-year roadmap. It was launched by the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, and the main goal is to basically supercharge the country's entire industrial base. And you got to think bigger than just one industry here. This is about creating a whole new economic ecosystem from the ground up.
And this is the big one, the number that gives the whole operation its name. The goal is to more than double the industrial sector's contribution to the national GDP. Get this. They want to go from AED 133 billion all the way up to a target of AED 300 billion by 2031. That is a seriously bold target, and it signals a huge shift in the country's economic focus.
So when you look at the key objectives, you see pretty quickly that this is way more than just an economic plan. What I find fascinating is how all these pieces are designed to fit together. You've got diversifying away from oil, which is linked to this national pride campaign called Make It in the Emirates. Then you have future-proofing the economy, which is tied directly to grabbing onto new tech and sustainability. And the end goal of all of this? Creating quality jobs. See how each goal kind of props up the others? It's pretty smart.
Okay, so a plan this huge needs some serious muscle to make it happen, right? It's not just some document sitting on a shelf. It's a full-on, coordinated effort. So, who are the key players actually driving this thing forward?
All right, so you can think of this as a 1-2 punch. It's a two-pronged approach right at the heart of the whole strategy. On one side, you've got MOIAT. That's the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology. They're the strategists, the brains of the operation. They create the policies, they run the campaigns, they set the whole business environment. And on the other side, you have the Emirates Development Bank, or EDB. They're the financiers. They're the ones with the checkbook, injecting a massive AED $30 billion to actually help businesses turn all these grand plans into reality.
And look, they know that none of this works if it's a bureaucratic nightmare. So Moyat has made the whole system digital and super business-friendly. Getting an industrial license isn't some month-long paper chase. It's a clear, 5-step process you do online. It's all about tearing down the red tape and making it as easy as possible for companies to get in the game and start contributing to that 300 billion dirham goal.
I think this quote from the Emirates Development Bank just nails it. A bank built to move a nation. That really captures the whole spirit of this thing, doesn't it? Their job isn't just to be a bank in the traditional sense. It's to be a catalyst, to provide the financial fuel for this entire industrial revolution.
Okay, so we've got the strategy and we've got the key players. But what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's take a look at a case study, a company that's right in the middle of this big push towards both industry and green energy.
So let's talk about EM Steel. They're the biggest steel producer in the country, which makes them a perfect example for us. I mean, you think steel, you'd think traditional heavy industry, right? But these guys are going all in on the future-focused, sustainable vision of Operation 300 billion.
And these aren't just empty promises. Their commitments are super concrete. Just look at these numbers. They're aiming to slash emissions in their steel business by a whopping 40% and their cement business by 30%, all by 2030. This really shows that the national strategy isn't about choosing between growth and sustainability. It's demanding both at the same time.
Okay, and this is where it gets really cool. EM Steel is actually pioneering the use of green hydrogen to make low-carbon steel. Now, this isn't just a small improvement. This is a game changer, a totally revolutionary step for heavy industry in the whole region. It's the perfect example of the kind of advanced, sustainable manufacturing the UAE is aiming to be a world leader in. So a greener future is one piece of the puzzle. The other piece? A smarter one. And the tech engine that's powering Operation 300 Bill has a name: Industry 4.0.
So what is Industry 4.0? Well, put simply, it's all about creating smart factories. It's where the physical world of machines meets the digital world of data. Just picture a steel plant like M-Steel's, but where every single machine is connected to the internet, where data on energy use and production is flowing in real time, and AI is constantly working to make the whole process more efficient. It's a fundamental shift away from how manufacturing used to be done.
Now, of course, a transformation like this isn't easy. Not at all. It costs a ton of money up front, it opens you up to new cybersecurity risks, and it means you need a workforce with a completely new set of skills. But the payoff is potentially enormous. We're talking massive boosts in efficiency, way better products, and a much smaller environmental footprint. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward situation, and the UAE is really pushing its industries to take that leap. All right, so we've looked at the strategy, the players, and the tech. But none of this happens in a vacuum, right? It's all part of a real-world market. So let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. What's pushing this whole thing forward, and what obstacles are standing in the way? This table gives us a really great snapshot of the market. On the one hand, you've got some powerful drivers. I mean, huge government projects like the Etihad Rail, this massive push into renewable energy, and a construction sector that's still booming. But on the other hand, the challenges are very real. You've got global steel prices that are all over the place, a shortage of skilled workers like certified welders, and of course, fierce competition from other countries. It really makes it clear that success here isn't a given. It's gotta be earned.
But here's the thing. Even with all those challenges, the forecast is looking pretty strong. The structural steel market, which is really a cornerstone of this whole industrial push, is projected to grow at a rate of over 6% year after year all the way to 2031. That is a solid, data-backed sign that this strategy has some real momentum behind it.
And that brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? Operation 300 billion is a really bold, top-down vision. The government is setting the course. But can a grand strategy like this actually spark the kind of creative, ground-up innovation that you need to build a truly resilient and diverse economy for the long haul? Honestly, it's one of the most fascinating economic experiments happening anywhere in the world right now. And it's going to be incredible to watch how it unfolds.